I met her on June 8th, 1999 at 10:56 in the evening. It was late, but for her, it was an arrival a month premature. My relationship with her changed what normal had been. Though we connected immediately, our daily routine for the first month existed in the activity and distraction of a busy atmosphere. I'm not certain she was much aware of my presence, but her presence became the center of my world. You see, the meeting was the day of her birth. The first month was in the NICU at Women and Infants Hospital in Providence. And this little person that transformed normal and became the center of our family life was my daughter. We're honored that you're here, both those who knew her well and those who have come out of respect for our family. The past week has been a whirlwind, unlike anything we have ever experienced, and we have experienced some stuff. My ministry as a pastor has had me on the other side of these events many times. I've sat as the comforter trying to find the right words. Alexandria's death has caused me to wonder, what was I saying to people? I was always quick to acknowledge that outside of losing my grandparents nearly 40 years ago, I had not lost any immediate family members, so I could not know what others were suffering. Yet in between one breath and the next that never came, a horrible sense of loss has forever changed my perception of suffering. Alex was life itself. She breathed life and vitality. Even aware since before her birth of the unique challenges that she would face, she never lived with that sense of inability or of experiencing anything short of pure joy and love for all that she did and for every person she ever met. Just this afternoon, I went into the cleaners to pick up my suit for tonight, and Alex's job. The owner came out to bring my clothes speechless. He wanted to say something, but didn't know what to say. Finally, he simply said, every time Alex walked through these doors, she instilled a sense of warmth and joy with her smile that went straight to my heart. If you knew my Alex, you knew exactly to what he was referring. Alex knew no strangers. We couldn't go anywhere that she did not immediately get up in people's business. She had no concept of personal space. And I was constantly on her about it. It didn't matter if you were of the age to be her grandparent, or if you were a baby in her church nursery. And especially if you were a student or held a position at Gordon College, where Tori attends, she would pester, frustrate, and aggravate to exhaustion. I tried. I did everything short of threatening her life just to get her to stop. Normally, I just have to walk away and let you fend for yourselves. And you would acknowledge she normally won. Every world in which Al existed, she treated with equal passion. From home to church to hobbies to following her brother's soccer teams to the hospital, she invested herself completely in the moment. She loved everything she did. She loved going to the hospital. Did you hear me? She loved going to the hospital. Of course, beyond her love affair with the cardiology department at Boston Children's Hospital, she developed a special affection for her pulmonary checkups as well. That was due primarily to the fact that Dr. Fishman and the powers that be had the unique and clear ability to hire the most incredibly good-looking young male Asian men that you would ever know. First, it was a fellow by the name of Fawn. Oh my goodness, I would pull up and drop Maureen and Alex off in front of the hospital, and I'd have to go park, find my way to wherever the particular appointment was for the day. On cardiology days, it was just the happiness of seeing Julia and Courtney. On pulmonary days, it was Fawn. For a while, and then it became the next one. Of course, I can still remember her consternation when I told her that though I appreciated her sentiment, I would, however, be unable to marry her when she came of age. She adored her brothers, switching from one to the other over time about how good looking they were, which one was the nicest. But even that came to the point where she knew that she wasn't supposed to marry them either. I was shocked to find out over the last couple of days that she had apparently met the love of her life. In March, we had our last family vacation on the Cape. One evening, she was having a serious conversation with Shelby. The conversation turned to the Gordon men's soccer team. And Alex stated very clearly that she was in love with one of the players. Shelby, talking to a young teenage girl, tried to define the situation by telling her it was just a crush. To which Alex responded, "No, I love him." And so the winner is Matt Durso. In all seriousness, Matt, you were but an example of the world of kindness and graciousness that was shared with Alex in abundance. Thank you, and all of you, for that. As I shared with our church family last night, Alex possessed an authentic goodness that I have only seen in 3 people in my life. One was my grandmother. The other, my wife. And the third was my daughter. The easiest way that I know to say it is that Alex honestly did not know how to be angry. She didn't know how to hold a grudge. She didn't pick up offenses. Christy said the other night that when we would be upset around the house with anyone, Alex would act like she was upset. The fact was that the next time we were with whoever that person might have been, Alex was incapable of continuing the act. If we modeled just that one characteristic from Alex's life, the world would be a better place. Alex's faith walk had become significant to her over the past year. Not the least influence to that end was her relationship with her youth pastor and his wife, Tom and Sarah Wicks. She read her Bible daily, had memorized large sections of it. She was confident in her relationship with God and the salvation she knew was hers because of her trust in the Lord Jesus. And this brings a comfort beyond description for us now. The heart that demonstrated what has now only begun to be revealed has been startling. We had such concern and attempted such control over her phone and texting. A usage that any parent could appreciate. Yet we're finding out now that she was texting incredible numbers of people. I had no clue. Spanned the spectrum of ages. And and each one demonstrated a singular concern for people. One of our church ladies on Sunday, Elizabeth Frazier, lost her father just shortly after our church had begun meeting. She related to me that Alex would have been about 5 years old. Elizabeth was sitting toward the back and weeping. At 5 years old, she walked up behind her and just began to pat her and tell her everything was going to be okay. Our family pediatrician, Corinne Combine, Maureen can tell the story better than I can. How old was she? I'm sorry? About 6 years old. Alex was constantly in danger of having to be hospitalized, and those who have been with us through these years know that she's been hospitalized any number of times. And one day we took her in and she had pneumonia. Dr. Combine had to tell us that we were going to have to take her straight to the hospital. He would call the emergency room and have them waiting. And as only Corinne could do, sat down on the table with little Alex and just slumped over, just discouraged himself. And Alex reached over and patted him on the back and said, "Dr. Combine, everything's going to be okay." People we don't even know. I guess possibly we've met some of them some days up on the side of a soccer field. Shelby's roommate, Lauren, her mother, posted on one of the social media sites this week and said, "Alex is the youngest sister of my daughter Lauren's friend Tori from college. Although I did not know Alex well, it was clear from the first time I met her on the sidelines of the soccer field that she had a very sweet, beautiful, energetic, and spunky spirit about her. She had to be his biggest fan." Remembering her hanging out with Lauren and Shelby as if there was never any age difference between them at all. As quick as you turned your head, she was off chatting with someone else up and down the sidelines.
Yeah.
Well, there is a comfort knowing that she is with Jesus now. My prayers go out to her family and with all those whose lives she touched who are missing her already. Please to continue to keep them in prayer. Big Tim's, Chris's mother, posted earlier today, "Dear Strickland family, our heartfelt prayers are with you. We will continue to lift you all up in prayer during this most difficult time. Even though we rejoice that we will be reunited with those that have gone on before us, we are grieving the loss of a young woman so brave, so loving, so full of joy. Alex was an incredible gift to us all, and we were so blessed in getting to spend time with her this season. No one loved her brother and the entire team more than she did. We love you all and pray for the peace that passes all understanding." She wrote, "Hi, I'm sure this past weekend and week aren't going to be easy. I wanted you to know you've been in our thoughts all weekend. I told one of our daughters Saturday and she's completely devastated, wishing she'd texted more and gotten together. She's completely beside herself and confused. Didn't want to go to school, but she did. Please let me know what I can do for you, and when you're up for it, I'm interested in understanding what happened and how. A very tragic loss of a beautiful, talented young girl. I didn't meet these people till tonight, and yet she said I have a picture of her hanging, believe it or not, from my other daughter's birthday in my living room, and our daughters have requested that it never be removed." She just connected with people. I would also say to you that I'm hurting for the kids in our church, in particular the younger ones that she had begun to work with in our Kids for Truth Club. She loved you guys. And I know that this is a difficult thing for you as kids, but I'm going to tell you as adults, I think sometimes kids get it easier than we do. One of our church families, a sister, wrote this on the morning following Alex's passing. He said, I had to wake up Isabella this morning and give her the devastating news that our friend Alex had gone to be with Jesus. And trying to make sense of all this, I was telling her, I don't know why God didn't answer our prayers. Michelle, how old is Isabella? 10? 10-year-old answered her mother this way. God did answer our prayers. We prayed for Alex to be healed, and she is. God knew this world was too hard on her and didn't want to see her suffer, so he took her home to heaven. I think sometimes kids get it easier. The Bible tells us in Hebrews chapter 13, verse number 2, be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares. I don't know if Alex was indeed an appearing of a heavenly angel, but she was my angel. She was our angel, and we have been blessed. In just a few minutes, we will pass the first week since Alex passed from this life. I'm told that dealing with the firsts, many of you have suffered them. It's part of the process of grief and transition that loved ones experience. And so, 1 month from today, our family will gather to experience what would have been her 15th birthday. A first. Our next first school day, when there would have been DVDs playing because Alex was homeschooled and there won't be any math instruction from her mom. First night of watching TV without her favorite programs and her providing incessant commentary. From beginning to end. Always a special treat when you were watching a 2-hour movie that she had seen before and you hadn't. First July 4th. She loved July 4th. Our first trip back to the North Shore next season to watch you guys play. Her favorite bunch of guys. First Thanksgiving. First Christmas. But here's the thing. That's our struggle. For Alex, no more firsts. No more time. She's now experiencing eternity. No clocks, no calendars. And our off-shared experience that Alex is in heaven awaiting our arrival, no. The waiting is ours. Because where time does not exist, there is no waiting. Just a few moments, you're going to hear from my friend, fairly new friend. Our family is indebted to Brother Carey and their response to us. A little over a year ago, when we brought him to our first couples retreat, he's probably been rolling up here at some point, or will be. Over and over again, during that first couples retreat that he shared with our church, if he said it once, he must have said it. It hit me, I thought, 50 times, but the statement was very simply this: God is in control. Everything's going to be okay. To all of you, thank you for caring about Alex and about us. And thank you for letting Alex care about you. To our church family and the broader faith community, thank you for the outpouring of love that you have given during her life and now at her death. To our extended family, we grieve your loss. To two precious girls that had been forced into the fire of this family struggle. Alex loved you both like the sisters that you were. We are deeply grateful that Alex was given the opportunity to see what her family was to become, as her brothers would marry. You're precious to us. Trevor and Tori, what you all did for Alex, especially as you matured and accepted the role of big brothers, has blessed us. The way you stepped up with Kristen and Shelby at your side during these last days has been remarkable. She loved you more than life. No regrets. Maureen, you have been a rock in this tragedy. How you managed what you did during the 4-day nightmare of our life together is beyond my comprehension. You were her greatest treasure. I'm so thankful for the time that you had with her. Our lives have been irreversibly changed. But we're still together. And we're still standing. My love for you has never faltered. I love you still. Thank you for investing your life in all of our kids, but especially in Alex. God began a couple of years ago preparing us for this, and only now can we understand that. Maureen, for a number of years, was doing substitute teaching, and the last year that she did, which was the year before this, she would be gone on certain days, and for the first time in my time with Alex, she and I began to have daddy days. You all saw them on Facebook. Taco Bell was a favorite. Every now and then, not just as by her concern, but my mind, we'd go hit Longhorn or Olive Garden. She was the master of selfies. She liked getting the pictures. This year, because Maureen was going to be having a surgery on her foot in the fall, only by God's grace did we not know what was coming, but we decided that she would not go back to work, which meant that she was with Alex nonstop. We got home from the hospital. Alex had known that I was going to be, plan was that I was going to be traveling back and forth. Once she got through the initial treatment for the surgery and then the recovery from that, I was planning on coming back to the church every 3 or 4 days just to check in, whatever. So knowing I was going to be coming back home, and she treated me like a king. Walked into the kitchen the first night, went over to the Keurig machine to put on a cup of coffee, and she had prepared 4 little canisters of coffee to be ready when Dad came home, knowing that she would not be there to help. I'll leave you with a thought that I had miscredited. Trevor's ability to be able to handle this has been knowing with the assurance of her doctors that Alex did not suffer. Alex had 15 years almost of a diseased body without ever having to act like she was sick. And that gave Trevor comfort. And then he said this: Alex went from happy to happier. I appreciate the way that you all have responded to so much of what I've posted. Even tonight, you've been making comments. I don't want to give you any illusions. I was not trying to encourage you, I was venting. such composure and grace? Not really, I know me too well. But if there is any, it's been God's grace that has prepared, has been the means and measure of our ability to have made it thus far. And we have confidence He will lead us still.